Alright, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is a breakdown and spoiler review for Miss Marvel episode 1. Let's do this. What's up, Kibbs? I'm joined by Kibbs.
Good.
We're here together. I'm in London. This is awesome. Let's go through it. There's lots of takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
These are the takeaways that we took away from watching the episode, what resonated with us, and we just geeked out. So this episode 1 was called Generate. We're going to go skim through all of this and we'll talk about things.
Yeah.
But this episode was called Generation Y. And first of all, I think it's important to talk about representation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be real with you because I know you put a message up on Instagram expressing your thoughts. I want to tell you something because this is my first time experiencing representation. And I tell you what I mean. Normally when I see Cap and whatnot, I've never seen a white man, to be honest.
Yeah,
I love the character. I love his, just
his morale,
the
way he is.
Yeah, who he is as an individual. I relate to his characteristics. I love the fact he overcomes adversity. He's a hero. He does the right thing. I love that sort of stuff. Same with the Punisher. I don't see him as a white dude. I love, in some weird way, feel I'm connected to the character. I just love his ways. So I've never seen that really, but I tell you something. What happened with this yesterday? I have to tell this story. Idris, my little nephew, 5-year-old, he was watching his train stuff. He's obsessed with trains, and I was like, Idris, can we watch Miss Marvel? I guarantee you, there's a train in there. I was tricking him, because I wanted to watch it. So he was like, okay, let's watch it. So we pull it on. First thing he geeks out about the tune, right? Which is what is it? The
Weekend.
The Weekend.
Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights. He geeks out. That's his tune. The second thing, bro, and this is what got me. Soon as Kamala Khan came on screen, he goes, "Oh, that's my mum. She looked like Ummi. That's my." No, what did he say? He goes, "That looks like my Ummi." And I was like, "Oh, I see it now. I see the represent." And you know what? He sat and watched the whole show, and he was interacted in the whole show, and he kept on saying, "That looks like my Ummi." And I was like, "Oh my god! Now I see what representation means." To me, like I say, I never saw that, and I was just like, "Yeah, it's Cap. I love Cap. Whoever it is." Blade and Black Panther, whatever. I finally saw it from a perspective of Idris, a 5-year-old, to look at the superhero on the Marvel superhero and say, that looks like my Ummi. So that was beautiful, man.
It was.
I finally recognized that representation in a way. But yeah, you got emotional yesterday. You talk about what you.
No, it was like there's a few things that connected on there. We get to see a Muslim superhero, a Muslim family as well. And I'm not talking about segregating cultures and religions and stuff like that. I'm talking about, a brown family, an Asian family, the dynamics in that as well. I'm Bangladeshi Muslim, we saw Pakistani Muslims. But it was just the same sort of dynamics, the aunties gossiping and stuff like that. But for me personally, it was that my little girl will end up growing up seeing superheroes that look like us on the screen. But then there was a few things that connected for me about when she starts school and where she goes from there and what she's going to go through in her struggles, because growing up as a brown girl who covers her head or doesn't, or has something Arabic on them, we've been kind of banished and tarnished, with all the madness that's happened in the world. So without getting political and all the rest of it, hopefully most of you don't think we're all the same,
And that's what I love about this. Again, we're going to quickly go into this, but that's what I love about it. We spoke. People out there, like I say, people who are criticizing it because it's haram for Muslims to be like, I get that. Again, if you think all the Avengers stuff is haram, I get that. But again, if you watch the Avengers and all that stuff and you want to pick on this saying it's haram, then I think I don't think that's right. But the representation of like the Muslim family, like it's the normal American family. I mean, not normal, but they're normal American family. Where finally, I think it's going to educate people, man, what Bismillah means. And,
exactly.
And
of
saying
course,
Allah Akbar and stuff like. It's not terrorist talk. It's
exactly
our religious talk. Of course, it's not 100%, and we're going to talk about it because what they're going through, and what the stuff that we're talking about that could be possibly haram, which was always emphasized by our parents, is actually emphasized in this. But anyway, let's go through this because we've got lots to go through. But yeah, cool. I spoke about representation and the stories. Building Lights, The Weekend, great tune.
Blinding Lights, man. Ain't no building lights for us.
Blinding Lights. I don't know music. Blinding Lights, open to that. Moon Knight made an appearance in the Marvel logo. Boom. Awesome. Creative illustration. That was one of the things about the whole show.
So
I
great.
loved that. The fact
Amazing.
that where she was talking and the background was moving and stuff.
I think as an artist, for me, for this part, like the visuals and what they did, is me as a Marvel fan, as a comic book fan, is seeing reality like that. You know, when I see a graffiti, when I see artwork, you know, they made everything look like the comic books. And the art, it's art, you know what I mean? So it's like they represented art and creativity on such a high level, I think, because most shows don't do that. Like, I feel like Kevin Feige was like, this is going to be the most cultural, most creative, most colourful show that we're going to put out there. And like, there's more we'll talk about at the end regarding about some people saying their thoughts, but I think it was well directed. I think the directors knew what they were doing, and it looked great, man. Like, as an artist, as a comic book artist, that opening scene, bro, when the Marvel Studios came up and she told the story and she used her figures and the stuff around her, bro, inspiring stuff, man. I was emotional. That's stuff that I do. That's what I do. So yeah, definitely connected with me on that side.
I thought you would love that. I thought about you when I saw that, and I genuinely enjoyed that. But I love the creative illustration, the Endgame story that she told. She gave that. She obviously emphasized a lot on Captain Marvel. That's who she loves, and I love the fact that she proper geeks out about the Avengers, but also specifically Captain Marvel, the same way I do with the Punisher. I get that relationship. That had that.
It's a fan, isn't it? It's a fan of the Avengers.
That's what
We're
makes
the
it
fan
fun.
of the Avengers.
Yeah. That's the, you know, I tell you something, right? When I was talking to my colleague yesterday, I was like, oh, you know Miss Marvel's there. She didn't even know. She was like, tell me about Miss Marvel. And rather than me saying she's the first Muslim hero, I was like, she's a comic book geek like us. Oh, she's a fan of the Avengers. And that's what's more so relatable, because we're a fan of the Avengers.
Yeah.
She's a fan, and then all that. So I was like, check it out. But I didn't want to say like, oh, she's a Muslim. I didn't want to bring that up. There is need, but she'll see that in the episode. Which
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Then she's doing a little podcast video thing, and she talks about Thor. She was talking about the next series, but she was like possibly Thor being a gamer. I think that refers to end games when they're playing games, and maybe she's Noob 69 or whatever it was. Maybe it's not her friend or something who was cussing Thor and Korg. Maybe. First ever Avenger Con, so that's what this episode's about. They're gonna go to this first ever Avenger Con. It starts off with her brother doing Islamic prayers. He comes down, he's saying Allahu Akbar and doing dua and whatnot. He tells her to say Bismillah before her driving test. Bismillah means...
man, how you forget that? God will... Is it God? No.
How you forget
That's some basicness.
Bismillah.
Anyway, we say Bismillah before we do anything. Before we eat, before we leave the house, we do everything. But we've completely gone blank on it.
Very blank.
That's basic. Allah forgive us. Astaghfirullah for forgetting that. It's gone right out of my head, bros.
Hey, all I know is before you do anything, you say Bismillah.
Yeah.
And then she says it in the car, and then the instructor was like, "Bless you" and whatnot. I thought that was quite funny, but also kind of emphasizes on, just not knowing, right? Exactly. Unfamiliar with it and whatnot. She does the driving test. She crashes into his car, which I thought was hilarious. As soon as she said Bismillah as well, so she looks. The daydreamer. She's a daydreamer, right? So when she was talking, when her parents were talking to her, she's daydreaming, man. She's constantly fantasizing about this unreal world and Miss Marvel and whatnot. As she was driving through, you see the background of New York City and everything. What do you got? Teacher. The teacher got her name wrong. Rather than calling her Kamala, he said something like Camilla or I don't know. He said something wrong, which, you know what, it's just something that happens, especially with foreign names, like our sort of names and whatnot. I don't blame people because I can't read for shit. But it's an interesting point. It's real, like, people can't pronounce our names. But maybe as a teacher, and maybe she's never corrected him, but maybe as a teacher, he should emphasize on learning the right way to say it. But if she's never corrected him, that's her fault. I'm just saying. Anyway, she's like a normal teenager girl in school, as we see. Almost like a Peter Parker thing. There was like, at the end you see a Spider-Man reference with that agent or whatnot. But just in general, the theme did feel like a Spider-Man sort of look and feel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then she was in school and just going for teenage shit, you know. Her necklace, I thought that was interesting that she expressed that Zoe, the other girl that she, I don't know, whatever, she said that I like your necklace, and it was her name in Arabic. And I think a lot of Muslims in general have that sort of stuff, something written in Arabic to represent our Islam, which is, you know, the main language I would say is Arabic in some way.
That's right.
She sees a school counselor, right, which expresses, again, she's just a normal Muslim kid. So the school counselor was talking to her about life. What are you going to do in the future? Do you do volunteer work? How are you going to get into college? She's a Muslim kid, and they've emphasized it in the show, but she is like just another American
Everyday
kid.
exactly.
Yeah, so I love the way they did that and they expressed that. But it's a lot to think about for kids, and that's what they go through. There was a Mulan reference in there.
Yep.
Disney phone and all that stuff in there. Her friend's like the guy in the chair. Oh, her friend Bruno is like the guy in the chair, right? And as you spotted out, he's very influenced by Tony Stark. He dressed up as Bruce Banner at the end.
That's
in his house, we saw the poster of Nikolai Tesla. So he's an inventor, and I think
that's right.
You know, so he's inspired by them guys. He mentions to his mother. He mentioned when they're talking about her asking her mum to go to AvengerCon. He says you're acting like your mum's Darth Vader. So again, Star Wars reference, Disney reference and stuff. I lost myself. Oh, the bike ride home was awesome. Again, the illustration and all the what ifs. Like, what if, was that right here? What if zombie Captain Marvel? What if Captain Strange? What if Iron Marvel? I mean, and that's an interesting one because Tony Stark and Captain Marvel had a little ting. So anyway, I love the whole what ifs with Captain Marvel. And that's her character, so it's just amazing.
She tried. I think that part of the episode, she was trying to add a part of herself to the cosplay outfit and what they can do to put Kamala Khan's touch to that suit. Yeah,
awesome. Communication with the parents when she was trying to ask. In general, communication with the parents. I love the way that they add in or do a little bit here and there. I do that with mum and dad. That will speak half English, half Bengali and whatnot. So I like that. The nanny's bracelet collection. Oh, the nanny's bracelet. So this is when they get a package from the nanny, which means grandma, basically. And then she has the bracelet. I feel that the nanny, and we're going to talk about this more, used to use the bracelet because there's a lot of talk about her, the nanny, being in a fantasy world. And I think she intentionally sent it to Kamala Khan, knowing that she could be the next person to use it. Also, I believe that, I have a feeling or some sort of theory that these bracelets has something to do with the 10 rings.
10 rings, yeah. I think definitely they have a link. There's some sort of link there.
They're just they look alike. I mean, there's different powers, but it's, just the rings and the bracelet. It's almost finished. I feel like there's some sort of connection there in regards to maybe it came from the same cosmic being or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember at the end of Shang-Chi with Wong and everything, they were saying the 10 rings were calling out to some cosmic something.
Yeah, they said it was like pushing out a beacon.
Beacon, exactly. I reckon the bracelet has something to do with that in that realm. My theory, anyway. Shopping with mum when they were doing the wedding shopping, just with the Indian music, it was very typical. Sort of like going out with shopping and mum and
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
The what do you call it? The halal guys. That it's a very famous food store in New York. I'm gonna go check out in New York when I'm there next week. Very famous food guy. He says something about flying vultures in Armani suits. I'm trying to think what the hell is he talking about. There's something.
I don't know. He was referencing something, but
Spider-Man keeps coming to head because of vulture, flying vultures. But in Armani suits, I mean, I can't. I don't know. Didn't do the research. Anyway. Aunties gossiping, typical of an auntie thing.
Yeah.
Mum does it all the time. When they're on the phone, when they go shopping, they're gossiping. And what they were gossiping about was one of the girls from the neighborhood went out traveling. For a Pakistani girl or Bengali or Muslim, whatever girl, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And aunties will, unfortunately, in the culture, there's a judgment about it. Oh, she's gone down the wrong path. She's gone traveling. Again, we're going to talk about it with her trying to go to Comic-Con, AvengerCon. It's the same thing for the females in our cultures, I would say. Where have I lost myself? Taking food from the auntie, take away, asking parents to go to the AvengerCon. So this was an important conversation. Her asking her parents, can I go to AvengerCon? I have seen this firsthand with my sister trying to go out somewhere and whatnot. And I have to say, it was a very realistic conversation.
Very, very realistic. Very realistic. And even as a dude, as a son, I went through my fair shares of what, why, how, what, when, who, when, all of that. But I could understand for the sisters it was really hard. It's different. It's very, very different. But, I'm going to have to go through that as a dad. Lara's going to grow up. It's how and when and what you understand about it. It's about being open. But this is the thing, though, like we being open to someone from an older generation that didn't do anything and didn't know what to do, it's scary for them as well. So now as an adult, I get to see both sides of the story. And I felt both of their pains. I felt both of their pains. All we do is worry about the world outside. So
That's it. But you know what? I don't think this is necessarily just an Indian culture.
No.
Or, normal parents will ask, where you going? Why are you going? What are you wearing? That's a normal thing, to be honest with you. But yes, in our culture is a sort of thing. She said she's going to dress up as Captain Marvel, and the first thing that her mum said was Astaghfirullah, which again means...
we're going to get cussed.
I'm going to get cut. I know, we're going to cut.
We're going to get destroyed.
You know what's weird? I know these Arabic words. I say them in the right content, but I don't know. I can't remember the actual meaning.
Anyway, it's when something bad happens or something haram happens, we say Astaghfirullah.
Yeah, God forgive or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. God forgive me for something that happened.
So, anyway, but
please,
she was referencing...
forgive us, brothers
and
sisters who are watching this.
Yeah, Astaghfirullah.
We got caught off guard.
Yeah. We should have prepared, man. Anyway.
Yeah, we're basic.
Anyway, the mother was referencing how tight the clothes is. And again, that's something in our culture we don't want to expect. That's why, the women do wear burqas and all that sort of stuff. There's a religious aspect to it. It's about temptation and whatnot. Treasuring the woman's... people won't get it. But I get it from a different perspective. The woman's beauty is treasured to her husband and whatnot. But anyway, tight clothes is a no-no. Boys get better treatment. Yes, I do have to say, yes, we went for our fair shares. I'm a 37-year-old man living in Singapore, and I still have to call dad to let him know I'm cool. Every time I call mum, did you eat? How's your health? Same questions. Did you eat? How's your health? What did you eat? That's his parents in general, and I think that's just a lot of culture in Bengali Indian parents and whatnot. Yeah. But boys do get it a little bit easier. I do have to say that, right? Yeah. I remember for our sister, so many times when she wanted to go out, I had to go and support, like, pops, like, it's going to be all right. Even when she wanted to go do holidays or whatever, the brothers are always there to kind of support. Yeah, but
and they showed that in this as well.
They did, because he did that after. He went and told the parents, like, you should let her go. And that's what us brothers do. Of course, we want to build that support and trust with our sisters. To be like, look, we trust you. We know, we want you to go enjoy life as well. But don't throw it back in our face. Just go and enjoy it and whatnot. So we'll look after you. So I thought that was a great representation. And then Big Brother always has the big, text message conversation between her and Bruno again was awesome. Because you can see in the background, they were using, you said it here, in the background poster, you can see the text messaging happening in the creative illustration. So in the background,
in the lights and the skies,
which I loved. That, which was brilliant. That was awesome. The Bruno again, we mentioned he had posters of Nikola Tesla in his background and what. So he's inspired by all of them guys. Kamala Khan acknowledges the tight Captain Marvel costume when she tries it on. She actually acknowledges it herself. So she was looking at her figure and whatnot, and she tried to put a scarf on to cover it. So in a way, like, yes, she's an American girl. She was born and raised there. But at the end of the day, culture is a beautiful thing because, it's something different about people.
That's right.
And, she still acknowledges
She acknowledges that.
Like, you know what, yes, I'm an American girl, but I'm still a Pakistani Muslim American girl. So she still has her values. Which you can see in that. And then haram going to the Avenger the mother, when she comes in, she says, I know it's haram, but we're going to let you go with your father and whatnot. I thought that's an interesting thing because every parent says that, Islamic parents, like, you're going to this thing, it's haram. And again, haram means like sinful sort of thing. We got that, we know that one. It's sinful sort of thing. So I thought that's an interesting conversation because every time even we say it now, man, when someone does something, we're like, haram. But she acknowledged...
I'm eating them 5 guys, man. Haram, bro.
Any exposure. But I thought that was, that's exactly what Asian parents would do in the sense, like, okay, you can go, but your brother's going with you, or your dad's going with you. And in this situation, she created a Hulk costume, and for the father to go as well as Hulk as well. But what I loved was the Hulk costume she created was in the Sharagamis, which is like a traditional Indian sort of... clothing outfit. And what I love is I think that inspires her for when she does her costume, because her mother made that for her, Sharagamis, which already puts that Pakistani twist to it. So when she creates the actual costume, I think she's going to think back at that and
that's
get inspired by her mother. So I thought that was quite awesome.
That was really good. That's a good link up.
What are you saying? Dress maybe inspired by costume. The other was Hulk. The talk on the rooftop with her friend.
Emotional scene there, though.
That was a good scene with her friend, yeah.
Yeah, that was emotional. Both scenes were emotional. You know, I felt the pain of the dad. I felt the pain of her as well.
Oh yes, because she said it was embarrassing to go with the dad. And
he made such an effort, man. Green face and everything.
Yeah, he came.
But then again, with the friend as well, and I think the friend likes her.
Yes.
I think Bruno likes her. That's why.
Yeah, definitely. She says the actual words like, "Why am I dreaming? Like I'm a brown girl from Jersey. I'm not saving the world." And obviously, this show, that's one element of it. You know, being a representation. She's a brown girl. She's already acknowledged that brown girls don't do this, right? And that's what the show is going to be showing, especially to the little ones, our kids, your kids and whatnot, that they can do this. And Bruno himself said it himself, like, you can do this. You're Kamala Khan, and obviously he likes you and stuff.
Yeah. Great soundtrack. I'm loving the soundtrack. Soundtrack's brilliant.
And this list is long, but let's keep going.
No,
it's all the notes, man. Let's do it. And then he creates proton gloves, which I believe are like Iron Man arc reactor phase things for her. The plan.
They're supposed to represent the powers of Captain Marvel.
Oh, then
that's what they like to. Yeah,
that's freaking awesome. There you go. The plan opposite of Ant-Man's story. Oh
yeah. So
yeah, go on.
So they go through a plan which she illustrates on how to, because her mum said no, and she already made them upset. So she's going to do like a escape from her house to go to Avengers Con, and draws it out, and it's a really cool like Ant-Man scene, and the way she describes it, and she's really good at playing this character. Like she was genuinely right for this role because she's quirky. The way it's done is quirky, and it's done so creatively as well. So she illustrates this whole plan of what they're going to do to Bruno, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and I really think it's.
And there's still Easter eggs in that plan. So if you look at it, go back, it will have connections to some sort of comic book or some sort of something. It will link up to something, definitely.
No. I mean, one of them I got here is when she says "suit up." Cap says that in the first Avengers movie, "suit up." I think that whole scene was like the opposite of Ant-Man. You know, where Michael Pena's character's doing a whole recap or whatever. It was kind of like that, but in regards to a plan. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Well, I mean, not opposite to Ant-Man, but similar to Ant-Man.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys.
Where am I? Ant-Man story. Her Captain Marvel costume is the real Cap. Oh, in her vision when she was talking about it, her Captain Marvel costume she was wearing was the actual Captain Marvel costume, not her cosplay one. Yeah. She's that, she's that in love with the character and her costume. She's actually believe it's actually the real costume. You know what I mean? You know when you create something, you're like, oh yeah, this is the real thing. But I thought that was pretty awesome. Bruno looked like Marty McFly. He had his life jacket on, as they would call it in the first movie. So when they were at AvengerCon, which was awesome, so many Easter eggs and characters all over, people cosplaying basically for the Avengers. One of them I thought was interesting that it showed a little picture of Cap's ass. Remember his American ass? Which is interesting. How did they know about that? That
must have just done that. Somebody must have put it out.
Yeah, that must have put out there. There was a dedication, obviously, to Black Widow and Iron Man for their sacrifice. Quite emotional. Ant-Man was seen a lot. Interesting, because Ant-Man was supposed to be an original Avengers movie, right? Remember? And they cut him out.
Yeah, they cut him out. So he seems to be like he was on a podcast at the beginning, and then more in this one as well.
The podcast, interesting as well, yeah. So we're going to obviously emphasize a lot on Ant-Man with Ant-Man 3, with Kang the Conqueror. There's going to be a lot going on. Ant-Man's a big character. But in this Avenger Con, there was tons of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And obviously he was a big part of Avengers Endgame in regards to the quantum realm and whatnot.
Exactly.
Cool. Original Captain Marvel costume and Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe.
Zoe showed up and she had the original costume on. The original one was black and gold, right?
But I'm trying to work out. They've made variations along the way.
Yeah, but she was in the original one. Yeah, classical one, which was quite awesome. Of course, they're gonna throw that in there, which is great. The bracelet. Okay, so when she's dressing up, she puts the bracelet on, and that gives her some kind of cosmic powers. Created a force field. What did you call it? Creative force field type thing, right?
So originally, like her powers is like this stretchy, controllable thing. She's an inhuman. Yeah. So the way that triggered off was that there's a mist that came to her, which transformed her at the time. She's always been an inhuman, but it needs to be triggered off. In the TV series, they've changed it. They've given it more of a out of body experience, I suppose. But it reminds. I can't remember the character. It's from X-Men, and she's a character that's being embodied by somebody else, but has that sort of hologram feel.
Okay.
But the only way I could say it is that she's got Green Lantern powers, bro.
That's what I look. To me, it looked like Green Lantern powers because of
But
what
I personally think, and hopefully we'll get an explanation, because when she put that bracelet on, she passed through like an ancestral plane, like Black Panther, and we saw loads of other people there. Now, shout outs to the guys at Nerd Council. He jumped on a TikTok and he said he thinks it's kind of linked to what the Black Panther ancestral plane was like, and you getting to meet people that wore the suit beforehand. Where this one is who wore the bracelet beforehand as well. So, Nerd Council, that's you, dude.
Big up.
But yeah, so Green Lantern powers, but I feel like it's cosmic powers from a different dimension.
Yeah, I mean, look, that ancestral place that you saw, everyone had gold eyes, their eyes were glowing. Maybe that was, as you said, people who've worn it in the past. So that was awesome. She saved Zoe with her actual powers from the actual comic books that she stretches and expands and whatnot. So she actually showed, it showed an element of actual powers from the comics. The story about Nani, so she went back home. They were excited about the powers and also very shocked about it. She went back home. Her mum caught her. And her mum said something about you in your fantasy world, and she expressed, "Oh, what, you're gonna tell me another story about Nani?" I believe her Nani had the powers.
Yeah.
And they obviously thought she was probably crazy or in some fantasy world or something. But I think we're gonna hear more about that, and I'd be interested to hear about where the Nani got the powers from. Think about it. The 10 rings, Asia, China. This bracelet, Pakistan. Not too far in that region. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna get a really cool, interesting background on this. So, and listen, they've changed it a lot from the comics, and a lot of people weren't happy about that. And I mean, my thoughts as a creative, when you're adapting something from a comic book or a book, certain things have to change. Certain things maybe don't look right. You know what I mean? You're gonna have Mr. Fantastic come up soon as well. He's gonna be doing the stretchy games business. I know she has more powers, and she does more. But I think what they're doing with this show is great. It's perfect for what we have to see. A lot of people says it's a bit kiddie.
Yes, I agree though. I agree.
It's light-hearted, isn't it? It's for the youngsters as well. So like,
it's a teenager.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of the first Spider-Man movie. No,
exactly.
What was it called? Homecoming.
Homecoming, yeah. Which is good. Listen, getting to see a character like that from a young age and then seeing her develop and then, but the episode was so good, bro. Like, I can see good potential happening with this character.
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously she's going to be in Captain Marvel, the movie, so they link up as well, which I can't wait because she's a fan. It's like me meeting the Punisher, which would be weird because he probably just killed some dudes. But anyway, I can't wait to see that collaboration. The last part was an end credit scene, which they spoiled all over Instagram and Facebook. I hate that shit. My guy from Spider-Man, the agent who took him in and was questioning him.
Yeah, that's right. So he must have a new crew now where they try and look for superpowers.
Well, my thing is I think they're looking for teenage superpower heroes. Like Tony Stark would say, "Shut your mouth, man. Who the hell are you?" Right?
Yeah.
If he was to go to speak to them. So I feel like he's like linked, like some kind of shield. I can't remember the agency thing, but there's some kind of link, and I think he's trying to do something with the young superheroes or whatnot when he knows they got powers. But anyway, that was the end. We're gonna see more of that. Obviously, I'm freaking enjoying this show. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I like those teenage high school kind of shows. I kind of like those.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell type superhero thing. I don't know.
Yeah, bro, exactly that. Exactly that.
So
Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like that's the stuff I grew up with. But now we're getting to see a brown person do it. You know what I mean?
I'm listen. I always said I didn't care if she was brown, Muslim, whatever. As long as you give me good content, I'm in. And I'm enjoying the content.
The rest is bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
the rest is bonus.
If it was a shit show, then I would have been like, what, you just forced a Muslim brown girl in there to just force it in there for diversity and inclusion. No, do it good, do it right, and I'm in now. I love it. And again, when I saw Idris's reaction, he keeps saying, "That's my ummi." We just watched it for the second time, and he goes, "That's my ummi. Like, that looks like my ummi." I'm like, this is beautiful. So I've actually seen representation in my eyes, and I love it. So I'm in. I can't wait for the next episode, man. I can't wait. I'm going to be in New York, so Kibble, you're going to have to give you a little spoiler review because I won't have time. But
I'm going to do a little spoiler review for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. But other than that, subscribe to the channel, like, dislike, comment. Let us know what your thoughts. One love.
Peace.